Is we good?
We
All right.
good. We good.
Welcome to Wrestling with Racism, where we wrestle with racism every single day of our lives. If you are an American Negro and you are not subscribed to Wrestling with Racism, check out the other content. And if it hits you to the core, subscribe and share with every single American Negro that you know, whether they are wrestling fans or not. You may also find Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase, Spotify, Rumble, Patreon, and at Non-Crackers at Al on Twitter X, where you can find more white truths. I'm joined here by my co-host, Deportation 2025. What's up?
Yeah, getting ready to have dessert, and your voice seems to be breaking up.
Okay, well, we're working on that right now. How bad was it? Like, was it through a lot? Mike, can you hear?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Okay. All right, cool. We also are joined by owner of the stolen gun. What's up?
The struggle is up, brother.
Man, ain't it? Fucking gas almost 30 goddamn dollars. I knew we was gonna make it there one day. And here we are.
Hey,
Right when I get
these crackers said they can't have the country. Nobody can. They'll burn this bitch down before they hand it over to the Mexicans, the niggas, anybody.
well, they handed it over to the Mexicans and they didn't hand it over to the niggas, but they handed it over to the Middle Easterns, to the Armenians, to the Russians,
Arabs.
But
all them
I can't
fuckers.
find white though. They the new white people.
They did it. They did it. They had all this time to close them motherfucking borders down, and they just left it open. White folk did it, but we'll get on that soon. As of right now, we are shorthanded. Mr. Skims is not available tonight, and Foundational Bearded American will be up here shortly. He's working on a special project, and he will be here soon. I want to thank each and every single American Negro for tuning in to the latest editions of Wrestling with Racism. On our latest edition, we covered AEW Revolution. Tonight, excuse me, we are going to cover the fallout from AEW Revolution. And of course, it is tons of fallout out there. It's amazing how quickly things have turned around for AEW for the positive and the negative. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to look in detail to Black Americans' progression of a in AEW in 2026 as we are reaching the first quarter of the year. Also, we discussed in detail Rhea Ripley racism as we get ready to head toward WrestleMania. We talk about her racist past, we talk about her racist present, and we talk about where she should be in the future. We also discuss in detail because it seems to be a big misconception when it comes down to the success and the lack thereof of the hurt business slash hurt syndicate, and of course the individual, excuse me, as a collective, the nation of domination. If you have not tuned into that edition, it is available right now. I want to take this time to address some of the listeners to Wrestling with Racism. I want y'all to understand something. We are simply here to wake American Negroes up to the number one problem, not just in professional wrestling, not in America, not just, but around the world, and that is a system of white supremacy via anti-blackness. I'm not out here to cater to nobody's feelings. I'm not out here to cater to nobody's sensitive ears. We are going to tell the truth as it is. And if you don't like it, you can get the fuck on. If you don't like our reactions to certain things, you can get the fuck on. Take your viewership and take your subscription because you are not welcome at Wrestling with Racism. When you choose to toughen up, come back and holler at us. Because right now, there's no counselors in the budget. So we don't have no one to pet you on your back when things get a little rough for you. This program is not for you. Please leave. This program is not for sensitive ears. This program is not for white folk, and it's not for handkerchief head pecker Tom Negroes who can't take a joke. If you can't see the information that we pump out minute to minute on this program, and you looking for a popularity show or some shit, you're not gonna catch it here. Get the fuck on. Anyway, sorry about that. How y'all doing?
Doing,
Y'all
doing
ready?
good. Bit
Yeah.
tired.
You know, it's getting here close to WrestleMania. We got like what, 3 or 4 weeks? We got about a month
Let's
before
see.
WrestleMania.
I think it's April 18th, April 19th.
Yes, I think it is right before
Yeah, it's gonna
420.
be on
So
the
yeah,
Saturday. Let's see. Let me check the calendar.
we got a good 3 weeks. I'll say that. I just want to know, Owner, how excited are you as we draw closer to WrestleMania?
Man, I'm pissing myself.
Ugh. Damn, we got you. I think you might need to step away there. Maybe we do need to put some counselors on staff. It's got you stressing like that.
Oh, I'm so elated. I'm just over here drooling. I had a
Oh, you
I
pissing
had
yourself
two
in a good
connection
way.
fits
My
this
bad.
morning.
I took that the wrong way. I thought that shit was stressing you out. So you get pissy when you get excited.
Oh man, my bladder just goes, man.
Oh man. I wonder is that why Percatine Ryan be pissing on himself.
Right, he be arguing and pissing at the same time.
He can't hold it. Oh man, I don't know how women hold their stuff when they gotta laugh, but he just go ahead on. She just Percatine Ryan just go ahead on and let it right on out, huh?
Hey, that's my pissing and shit, drooling,
I gotta
snotting
ask
all
you
over
though.
himself.
I gotta ask you because this WrestleMania card is shaping up. What are you looking forward to the most?
I really
Nothing at all.
this open family match, he's got me sort of intrigued. Uh, Other than that, I just want to see Randy Orton beat Cody up.
Now, for the
That's about it.
record, you talking about Brock Lesnar, the white man, versus Obafemi, the Nigerian boy, right?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Opafemi is the only black former scheduled for WrestleMania.
The only melanated person. I don't think Nigerians call themselves black, do
Oh
they?
no, they're different. Hey, Yoruba, Igbo,
Some
whatever.
Nigerians identify as black, some don't.
Let's
Well,
just
when you look at Obafemi, lifetime heroes, it's pretty safe to say we're gonna talk about that. I don't want to talk about that right now, but we are going to talk about that tonight. That's why it's very important to delineate, because everybody don't have the same mindset because everybody didn't have the same experiences. I apologize, owner. You said who did what now?
Oh no, I'm hoping I'm not getting ahead of myself of the program. But Obafemi, if you ever heard him, speak without the accent, he just sound like
Seemed like he was trained before he got here, right?
Obafemi when you're not speaking in character, is a whole nother that's a whole nother person. You wouldn't recognize him
Well, I want to
based off his
know
voice.
because generally people with that type of accent, that clean accent that he got, is not at home. They usually go to the UK or go somewhere else to get washed up, right?
he was definitely grown. He was a standout athlete. I guess he got around.
But
Some people wanted.
was it in Nigeria? Did he go somewhere else, or did he grow up in Nigeria?
I think he spent most of his formative years in the states. With his collegiate career, his scholastic
Oh,
athletic
so when
career,
they talk about his collegiate career, it wasn't in Africa; it was in America, huh? He been here for a while.
and he speaks very clear English without an accent.
We're
On the
gonna look
relaxed.
into that. I want to see where Obafemi background, where he come from. Do let's see what's at his table
He
when they
went
look
to
at
the
his.
University of Lagos to
That's what I
study
thought he was.
studio art, and he was in the shot put, and he won 10 shot put medals in the
What
Nigerian
the hell
university
is
version.
shot put?
Shot put. That's a track and field event.
Really?
Yeah, like you have a heavy ball, and you just basically
Toss it. You see how far you
toss
could
it.
throw it, right?
Yeah, but they don't call it throwing. It's like putting, not throwing. It's I don't know how it works, but whatever.
Uh,
That's like the whole.
Well, it's
It's
Don't seem
boring.
like a black
from what I
sport to
know
me.
about shot putting, it takes a lot of coordination, and footwork, and explosiveness.
Yeah,
And that's a pretty damn big guy.
yeah. I've seen shot put before, so
That's a pretty big guy to have that for that sport, right?
yeah,
All right. We're gonna look into the background of Obafemi, but we're going to talk about Obafemi. I'm gonna wait to talk about certain things when it comes down to Obafemi. We're gonna wait till we get to the Monday night Raw report. Um, but owner, that dick, it is catching your intrigue though. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, this actually capturing you on this road to WrestleMania right now.
Well, I don't think it's just me. I think this is the most must see match of the card. This is the
Oh
match
yeah.
that's gotten the most organic interest behind it from the fans. I see the open family receptions in the audience. I think he's probably going into WrestleMania the most over character on the show.
yeah.
I
But
don't.
he's most likely probably going to lose to Lesnar.
Well, if you think about it, I think that the reason that Obafemi has been chosen for this match is because Gunther is not going to take a loss to Brock Lesnar. So they chose to put it on Obafemi. Triple H and them are scrambling right now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah.
Brock
I
Lesnar
expect him to
flexing his
lose.
white supremacy on everybody. And they don't want Gunther losing to Brock Lesnar. So they rather have Obafemi lose to Brock Lesnar because white folk would sit up here and tell you that Obafemi as a rookie have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
And that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about Gunther too when it come down to Raw. I just had to note that that's possibly the only reason. And under those conditions, I don't give a fuck about watching this. You could have Obafemi beat the shit out of him till the cows come home, leave and come home again. If he's not going to do that, if he not going to give him now, if he give him that same energy at WrestleMania, you know what I'm saying? If he dominate Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, but Brock Lesnar slip in the F5 or some shit, that's cool. If he put on a great showing, if the WWE allow him to put on a great showing, that's cool with me. But if they get there and he squash him like he squashed every other Tom, Dick, and Harry White, then it's pointless to me. It's really pointless to me because you sat up here and let this man call you a boy. But would WWE, would Brock Lesnar allow you to do the same thing? Can you next week come out on Monday Night Raw and call Brock Lesnar a boy?
I mean, he did put his foot on.
He'll get fined, right? He'll get fired, right? More than likely, he'll probably be killed. Right? White
Killed? I
folks
don't know
don't play
about
that
killed.
shit. And it's crazy because white folk sat up here and gave black Americans so much flack because they can't understand what it means for, he just called him a boy. That's it. Tiffany Stratton just called that black American man a boy. That's it. Why are you in your feelings? Well, how many white adults get walked around being called boy and gal nowadays? Specifically by black people.
I remember my dad telling me a story about how a cop pulled him over and he was on his way to Oklahoma in the Air Force. And the cop, he was asking the cop what was wrong, but the cop wouldn't give him a fucking answer, kept calling him boy. But when my dad called his superior in the Air Force and he talked to the cop changed his tune and then called him sir.
Well, that's crazy that he
This was
couldn't respect your father.
1985.
That's crazy that he couldn't respect your father on his own volition. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? On his own volition. And it's crazy that if your father, it's crazy, and I'm not saying this against your father, by the way. It's crazy that a man of his stature who served this country,
Yep.
fought, bled, and was willing to die, is willing to die for this country, still have to call a superior to validate his status. You know what I'm saying? American Negroes have to go through extra hoops to prove that they aren't what you think that they are or want them to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's got to change. We still living under those terms. We still living under the terms of you illegally asking me for my ID. And when I question why, I get beat, I get killed, and people tell me that I should have just gave it up. It's as if black Americans just don't have no rights anywhere. Some people, some police officers just fuck with you just because they violate your constitutional rights just because. And they, even though you may be able to win in court months, years down the line, they still got to put you through the bullshit, right? Even if it's just a day or two in jail, right?
Yeah.
Well, who's putting white folk through that shit? Because, white folk claim that the Jews is putting them through oppression today here in America. Is that visible?
No.
Do y'all see that? Do y'all see these Jews actually oppressing white folk?
Fuck no.
Are the
It's
Jews making white
They're
people
not.
get addicted to porn and pain pills and killing themselves? The Jews make them do that?
mm,
Is that what
they
they're
keep
talking about?
blaming somehow they still blame them for that shit.
Did the Jews make them keep slavery going?
Let them tell it. They know only what 2% of whites own slaves here in America.
That's the the
There was a book that I wanted to find. I can't remember it. It said like it was like 70 to 80% of the slave owners in America were actually Jews.
Mm,
but that's irrelevant to the top. White supremacy, Jim Crow, slavery was 160 years ago, Emancipation Proclamation, whatever. But we talking about the 160 years preceding that.
That's why you could never get me with the slavery talk. You could talk about slavery, the free and cheap labor all goddamn day long. But you know, what about everything leading up to this day? I just seen an officer shoot another black man down.
And he wasn't Jewish. He wasn't a Jewish cop. It wasn't Jewish lynch mobs. It wasn't Jewish governors uh, writing these black codes in the law. Those were white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
What else is new?
Absolutely nothing. Things just continue to get worse when they sit up here and tell you to your face that these things is propaganda. How can I discern the difference between propaganda and the reality in which I live every day? Every single day, the things that I have witnessed myself, things that's been done to me personally, that's not propaganda.
That's
It's
real life.
reality. But these is like I said, people are not coming from a place of experience. White folk have never experienced true racism in this country. Nobody is restricting white folk from an education, a a proper salary. You know what I'm saying? American Negroes, like I said, is crazy that today a white nobody with a high school diploma or a GED still stand to earn more, multiple times more than a person, an American Negro with an associate's or bachelor's degree. That still exists in this country today. And wait till we start hitting down south. It's a reason why you don't hear these stories so prevalently every day. We moving
They got to
down
keep the
south this
illusion going.
season. I'm sorry, you say who did what now?
They got to keep the illusion that racism is dead going.
Well, it's working for some people. You got some people actually out here believing this shit. You know, Bob Barker. Let's take Bob Barker for an example. Bob Barker was the first white man that I've ever seen genuinely smile and with black people. I thought it was genuine. He giving them courage and giving them money and shit. Come to find out, Bob Barker believed that black men are the most diseased people in this world. You can't trust a man with a smiling face. That man didn't want to get canceled. Hulk
Mm.
Hogan didn't want to get canceled for calling Bad News Brown a nigger. So he just smiled in his face and collected his paycheck.
Yep.
By the way,
Bad News Brown got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
actually, no, he didn't. The WWE know how to sour some shit. Last year, Kamala should have been in the WWE Hall of Fame a long time ago. And I would not have an issue with Kamala actually being in the legacy wing of the WWE if he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, like Jack Briscoe. Jack Briscoe is in the WWE Hall of Fame. They inducted him. He was able to make a speech with his brother. But then last year, a decade later, they put him in the legacy wing, which means that you can put people in the legacy wing and the Hall of Fame. Kamala has been disrespected and underpaid his entire career. Kamala traveled this world for 30 years and died penniless. That wasn't due to him mismanaging his money. That's due to him not making the money. They lowballed this Negro, and they lowballed him even in death because he cannot be in the same. He was one of the first ones to put the Undertaker on the map. He was one of the first ones who Hogan was running. Hulkamania was running wild on Kamala, town to town. He helped make Hulk Hogan. And the end of his life, I'm sorry, after the end of his life, his wife get to stand up for 3 seconds and wave in gratitude and sit the fuck down. Nobody get to speak on him. Nobody get to speak for him. You always look at Kamala as and as an African savage, even though he was an American Negro from Memphis, Tennessee, right?
Gee,
They
Kamala.
always looked to view him as a savage, and his family couldn't even have to come out to the world and say what type of a great man James Harris was.
He
And
was
they're about
born
to
in.
do the exact same thing with Bad News Brown, a man who's been underpaid his entire career. He always brought the intrigue. People remember Bad News Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate that since
Senatobia,
Triple H came
Mississippi.
into power, since Triple H came into power, that not a single American Negro has been inducted. Not a single American Negro wrestler have been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame since Triple H came into power. That's by no coincidence. He didn't want no nigger stepping on stage with on the same stage with him last year, and he don't want no nigger stepping on the same stage with him this year with his nasty ass, dirty ass, trifling ass, soon to be ex wife or widow.
Yeah. Kamala was trained by Bobo Brazil.
Mother was treating my Bobo Brazil. No, I'm fucking with you. So I
Yeah.
don't want you to take that personal now. No, I honestly didn't know that. Bobo Brazil is in the WWE Hall of Fame too. But that's perfect. Bobo Brazil was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I believe, in 1994 or 1995. He should be inducted into the legacy wing because
Yeah.
a lot of people y'all wasn't even born in 1994. I wasn't watching wrestling in 1994. This gives people the opportunity to go back and see what type of person this man Bobo Brazil was, and Bobo Brazil was big around this country.
Straight out of
Big
Little
name.
Rock, Arkansas.
But his name get lost when they could put him in the legacy wing and he's already in the Hall of Fame and put Coco. I'm sorry, not put Bad News Brown where he belongs. Put Kamala.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Where they belong.
Hell yeah. Before wrestling, Bobo Brazil played in the Negro Leagues.
Wake it up.
My great grandfather on my mom's side also played in the Negro Leagues.
I remember you telling me that the
And then my
Negro
great
Leagues, which was
grandfather on my
much
dad's
greater
side.
than the Negro Leagues, which was much greater than the MLB, right?
Yep. And they had the best players. Like even some of the lower players would would still take would be better than the best of the MLB.
Well, I mean, let's look at it now. Like,
Like Jackie
I,
Robinson wasn't even the best in the Negro Leagues.
speaking of white folk, yeah, that's what I heard too. Jackie, I'm not gonna get into that right now because I don't want to misconstrue everything, but it is a thing
Yeah,
behind that.
yeah.
Even like Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and all that shit, they could have been Satchel Paige and all them could have been in much sooner than they were. Should have been in much sooner than they were. But like I said, white folk generally do themselves in. I often ask because Chuck Norris died, right? I think he had an overdose or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Listen, Chuck
Um,
Norris. I
a
mean,
lot of white folk, I've been noticing a lot of white celebrities been dying. They've been every day. I've been seeing at least two or three, whether I know them or not. I'll be seeing at least two or three white celebrities that die every day over the last couple of months. So that's good to get that stuff out the way. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, the I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds.
well, let's see.
And why, Jack Briscoe, he wasn't Was he a WWF guy?
No, no, I'm sorry. Let me
Jared
get back in. My
Briscoe?
bad, my bad. I got distracted with something real quick. Let me say this real quick. What I'm saying is we was talking about white folk doing themselves in. I don't know if we was talking about it on the stream or I don't know if we was talking about it in the meeting, but we was talking about white folk doing themselves in. In these real sports, they continue to do themselves in because even in baseball today, white Americans are not dominating baseball. You still got these Hispanics and these dark skinned Hispanics and Negroes, right? When Chuck Norris died, I asked white folk who are some of the greatest white American athletes today. Y'all know I got no answer.
Yep.
White folk needed Chuck Norris because Arnold not from here. What the fuck is his name? John Claude Van Damme not from here. Jackie Chan not from here. Bruce Lee not from here. White folk needed Chuck Norris to represent them in America. But Chuck Norris was the only tough white man that they could count on, right?
Wait,
I
what?
mean, start thinking throughout history. Who close to whooping ass like Chuck Norris?
If you're talking like white, I
White
can't think of
Americans.
anybody. If you're talking like white
I'm,
folks,
t- I'm
I don't
talking about
know.
white Americans, not white skinned people, white Americans. Because white, there's some tough ass white people out here, but they not American.
See, white Americans. Before Chuck Norris, I can't think of a single one.
Owner, you
Uh,
like white folk? Go ahead,
give me 10 seconds.
take that. Because I can't think of none. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking out of a plastic cup right now. That shit more tougher than white folk. So what I'm basically saying, and even if you look into the NBA right now, white Americans, Luka Doncic is not American. Cooper Flag is the only one, but you can't touch that boy. They'll fucking call a foul, 17 feet before you get to him and shit. They letting the league done softened all the way up for these international whites to come here and do what they do because white America, no matter how soft it is, cannot hold the fuck up. I think Bill Lambier or some shit. He was a tough ass white boy. That's it. Them the only tough white boys you ever gonna get is
Oh,
Chuck Norris
Bill
and Bill
Lambier,
Lambier.
a tough white boy. I don't know if he was. I don't know. Didn't Patrick Ewing beat his ass a few times?
Well, I mean, that's fucking nature. Ain't he double his fucking
And then
size?
Scottie Pippen made him cry like a
Oh
bitch.
shit, I might have to check on that.
Didn't Scottie Pippen foul him, fuck him up
I don't know if he
like
was
Eastern
crying about
Conference
it. That's
Finals in
different. If you get
'91?
fucked up, it depends on how he got up. Did he get up and fuck him back up?
I mean, Larry
Because
Bird.
I think Bill Lambier was a bit slow to get up on a
Larry
foul.
Bird
I think it
was
was
the
Scottie
last
Pippen.
real white man in the NBA. Larry Bird was the last real white man to dominate in the NBA. Ever since him.
No, I mean, because I take a tribute to his team, though. He had one of the greatest defensive teams out there. He had some tough ass white motherfuckers, and he had some, I'm sorry, yeah, tough ass white immigrants, and then he had them tough ass Negroes out there, that opened the floor for him to do what he do. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at that squad. Golden, what's up?
Oh yeah, it was about 5 Hall of Famers on that squad, but he was, 3 time. Well, that's a media award, so you can't really count that.
I'm sorry, was you about to say he was the MVP?
3 times, but they vote on that in the media.
Yeah, well, they had
He
to
was great.
levy that because they didn't want to give it to Magic all them times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it came down to the real, he got three and Magic got five. So it is what it is. Um, and Magic went 9 times, didn't he? 9 or 10 times, didn't he?
And I mean, rookie of the year, Finals MVP the same year,
Irvin
Larry Bird.
Johnson is much more successful than Larry Bird on and off the court. I like it. I like it. Um, Okay, real quick. Anybody paying attention to SmackDown?
I am not paying attention to that at all.
I'm not watching the shit. I don't care to watch it. You know, we're gonna talk about the previous couple of weeks of SmackDown. I do want to talk about Trick Williams, and I do want to talk about Lash Legend. I do want. Oh shit, I forgot. Damn, Honor, you do got to get the shit for SmackDown. We got to talk. Just do SmackDown last week. We ain't got to do the week before. But not right now. Let's get ready to get started on AEW real quick. Because there's a lot of stuff that's we're gonna jump ahead first, and then we're gonna end up on WWE. Because there's a lot of stuff I want to get out about AEW real quick. But before I do, Mike, we watched Revolution live. That edition is available right now on YouTube. We did cover it from beginning to end. I didn't pay too much attention to it because it was nothing that was eye popping to me. I did watch Swerve match with Brody King, and I did watch part of the 6-man tag to see what Kevin Knight was up to, and he balled out that night. He was one of the standouts to me. But those were the only two Negroes that wrestled on that entire pay per view, right?
Correct. That is correct. They're the only two.
The only two. No women.
No women.
No women. All right. So Mike, with that being noted, by the way, both Swerve and Kevin Knight won their matches. Swerve beat Brody King. He's the most dangerous man in AEW. and
You're starting to break up again.
I'm sorry, Swerve is the most dangerous man in AEW. And Kevin Knight won the 6-man tag team match titles, right?
Yep. Yep, that's
Okay.
correct.
Now, with all that being noted, I do want to say, Mike, you paid more attention to that pay per view than I did. How did you like the pay per view?
It was a solid pay-per-view.
Really, because you got a lot of people out here that's giving the rave reviews as if it was one of the top 5 greatest pay per views in AEW history. Have you heard that report or heard that rumbling?
I don't really pay attention to the reviews. I haven't
I
really
mean,
seen
I
any
got you.
reviews.
That's why I'm asking you because yours is more valid than what these people are giving. I
I
trust
just go
you.
off how I felt watching the show.
So you didn't feel like it was one of the top 5. It was a standout, bang out AEW show.
I don't know if I would say top 5, but it was a good show.
Okay, I was wondering
I'd
what
say
the
it was
hell.
like 7 out of 10.
I was
So maybe
wondering what the
seven and
hell
a half.
people was talking about. Before we're gonna talk about white folk in AEW, I want to talk about Hangman Adam Page and stuff like that. But before we do, um, how have you been feeling about AEW since the pay per view? What they've been presenting?
I did not watch the Dynamite after Revolution. I only watched this week's Dynamite.
That is the first time I. Is this the first AEW show you ever missed?
Actually, no, this is actually the second one in a row because I missed the go home show for Revolution, and then I missed the Fallout show from Revolution. That's back to back shows where they didn't have a foundational Black American wrestling on the card. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? I'm just going to skip.
I'm happy for you, Mike, because I'll be wondering how the hell you've been doing this shit for so long. There's been many shows to where they didn't have American Negroes wrestling on the program, but it is getting to that point for you, which is why we wrestle with racism. We still want to be wrestling fans, but damn, would it be in 2026, and we know the reason why y'all don't want to use American Negroes consistently and correctly. Well, we don't, it sucks, but we just don't want to watch the shit. Um, okay, Mike, I did it in reverse. I watched a lot of the last edition. But the one before then, I did watch the Swerve promo. I want to talk about Swerve real quick. Uh, he's a coon. Um, owner, owner, you there?
I'm here.
Owner?
Let me ask you first, Mike. I'm gonna ask you in a second. Owner, it's because Swerve Strickland is the most successful American Negro in AEW history, right? If
Right
he
now, I'd say
win,
Swerve has probably had the most upside of any black wrestler in the last 5 years. So
even over Bianca, right? It's crazy that you say that. You might want to think about that, Honor, because Swerve ain't did a goddamn thing since he lost that title. Going on 3 years ago. You might want to double check that.
well, we're talking about
And you
males.
giving
If you're talking about
AEW too
just
much power.
male wrestlers, then yeah. But black wrestler spirit, it is Bianca.
That is crazy. And you know what? It's crazy because you may be right. It's crazy because you're right. Now that I think about it, Bianca been down for a minute. Before then, she wasn't doing shit. Naomi, she was getting her ass whooped before she lost the women's title. Uh,
I
No,
mean,
she
he.
vacated due to pregnancy, didn't she?
who?
Naomi vacated it due to
I mean,
pregnancy.
No, I'm talking about. I'm
Didn't she?
talking
him,
about. I'm
him,
talking about
and
before then. She was getting her ass whooped by Jade every day.
him
Oh,
and
okay.
Bianca have been the only black world champ. Him, Bianca, and Trinity have been the only black world champions.
No, but Bianca, I'm talking about since Swerve won the title. I think Bianca was women's champion when Swerve had it, and then she lost it at SummerSlam and never got it back. And then Swerve lost the title a month later and never got it back. So you might just be right. That's crazy when you sit here and think about that shit. Huh. Who has and mind you, we not talking about no fucking NXT
I mean, we can
because
say,
you
yeah. I mean, if we're not talking about NXT, we can certainly say, as far as male talent, he's the only one who's been presented, in the main event consistently as a threat to the title. So yeah,
as a threat to the title.
on you talking about on the main TV show, not
Yeah,
NXT.
but I would never call him a threat to the title. I knew he wasn't beating John Moxley, and then he just wait a minute. Let's wait. We already talked about Swerve Strickland in detail about the lack of success that Swerve Strickland has had ever since he lost the AEW championship. And I want y'all to go tune into that edition. It's the Tony Khan shit. Give me 2 seconds. It's the last one with Tony Khan. Wherever you see Triple H
That
and Tony
that
Khan
that's
shaking hands with the white hood on, it's that one. Y'all go listen to that edition to hear the lack of success that Swerve Strickland has had ever since he lost the AEW championship.
I mean,
But
that's
what I
that's the
want to
real
talk about,
indictment right
what
there.
I
I mean, even having so little going on, he's had the most going on.
he had the most intrigue. But see, that's what I say about Negroes. The same thing with same thing with Trick Williams. Down in NXT, Trick Williams was making the most noise. He had the most intrigue. He just had the least success, right?
He did.
Yes, he was
Yeah,
losing. Trick Williams lost 13 times with the
he
TNA
did.
championship around his waist. He held that title as long as Swerve Strickland held his, and Trick Williams lost 13 times. You do know that Trick Williams lost almost 40 matches last year, right? Through all of his success.
The most pointless title reign of one of the most pointless title reigns ever.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, you say it wasn't pointless. It did wonders for TNA. TNA just dropped the ball. It wasn't pointless. They just dropped the ball on making Swerve Strickland. They could have made I'm sorry, Trick Williams, they could have made Trick Williams bigger than what the fuck he was. Matter of fact, Trick Williams shouldn't even you know what? I'm not gonna say that right now. But if Trick Williams actually did want just to show you drawing potential. Slammiversary was the biggest Slammiversary with him main eventing. Bound for Glory was the biggest Bound for Glory, and we talking about of all times. So even with during Jeff Jarrett era, Dixie Carter, Hulk Hogan, AJ Styles, all these people eras and shit, Trick Williams was the one that was on top when they drew the biggest houses that they had on those particular monumental pay-per-views, because those are their two biggest pay-per-views. That's their SummerSlam and WrestleMania, right?
Absolutely.
So, and mind you, they don't nobody give a fuck about Mike Santana. Don't nobody talk about Mike Santana like they talk about Trick Williams. TNA have, oh God, Frankie Kazarian should have been in Mike Santana's shoes, and that would have worked perfectly. So TNA could still be having their success right now. But they using this Mike Santana bitch. And we're gonna talk about Mike Santana because apparently Mike Santana is coming to NXT this week, right? Yeah,
I
he
don't
is.
know.
Yeah, he is. So we're gonna talk about him later when we get down to the NXT stuff. So Honor, you get ready to have that stuff ready in a second. But going back to Swerve Strickland real quick, I do want to condense. Like I said, y'all can go back and we talk in detail about Swerve Strickland's actual lack of success, and you can hear that on one of our lives when we broke down who were the most successful American Negroes in 2025 in the WWE and AEW. And guess what? We found none. None. None with tangibles and none of that shit. So let's get back on Swerve Strickland real quick, Mike. Just specifically 2026. How have AEW presented Swerve Strickland that impressed you? Are you
They
impressed with
had
this
him
heel
turn
run?
heel. His heel run, it's been fine. Hasn't been nothing amazing, nothing terrible. It's been okay.
I apologize. I'm gonna come back to you, Mike, in just a second. Because I had a whole question that I was gonna ask Honor, and it went a completely different direction. But
Oh,
with everything that we noted just over that past 5 minutes, real quick, Owner, I need to know from you: is Swerve Strickland the standard that a Black American wrestler have to be successful in pro wrestling today?
So I think he's uh, no, no. I don't.
I want
Standard
you to think about everything that Swerve Strickland brings to the table, from his promos to the way that he
promos.
dressed to the
I'm
way
going
that
to
he.
start with the promos because his promos are not good. You know, uh, he can't talk on him. He's not a good mic worker.
He's terrible,
His work
dog.
in the ring is what really compels the audience, and it is good. You know, it's a step above most, but
But is
Strickland.
his in ring work the best? Like,
I,
is it because it caters to his work caters more to the whites? You don't see many black people catering to the whites like that, right?
well, I got to be
Drinking
hands down
blood.
and be yeah. To be completely honest, I've never really watched. Not since Lucha Underground have I really sat down and watched a Swerve match, but the matches I do watch, it looks like much of that choreographed, rehearsed dance recital shit. So,
Yeah. Mike, is that true? Mike,
hmm?
is that true? Is he more like do he wrestle more like the Young Bucks?
Will Ospreay and Ricochet
Well,
back in 2014 or whatever, like that shit, that video game shit.
I won't call Swerve a video game wrestler
he seemed like
because
he bring a little more.
he
He
does
seemed
do
like
some
he
flips, but
I mean, if you
he's
fucking
not
he
dunk
like,
seemed like
people
he
but he's
heads
seemed
not
in
like he
Ricochet with it.
headlocks,
he seemed like he do it because that's AEW, right? That's like a more of a requirement in AEW, right?
Wasn't he doing flips before AEW?
He mean like he mean like that sequence that we seen at All In with the Young Bucks and shit.
like when they break out into that shit, like that's when I totally fall out of my suspension of disbelief because In a fight, when are you gonna fucking roll off a nigga back, do a 360 spin, turn around, point at him? You don't do that shit in a fight.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, because I don't need nobody clout. You know, Gerald Timer. Apparently this program is not for you. Just go ahead on and go about your business. But state your ethnicity before you go. All right, my bad. You say who did what now?
Like the sequences, the planned out, over rehearsed, over choreographed sequences. You know what I mean? Wrestling, at its essence, is supposed to simulate combat. It's supposed to look like a struggle. When you
Yeah.
start cooperating, and I see you working together to pull shit off, it's no longer struggle. Then you're just doing Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, and you know what helped that out? WWE Unreal too, to where they get to go back there and show you slapping hands with each other too. That ought to put some butts in the seats. Owner, I was thinking about this a long time ago, and then I just thought about it earlier today. I wasn't even gonna mention it on the show, but just fuck it, just for the fuck of it. Pro wrestling is gonna be dead in 20 years. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck. What you think?
I mean, of course, that's the worst case scenario as a wrestling fan. I think wrestling just me
That's the
personally,
worst
wrestling
case
has.
scenario, nigga. You can't watch wrestling right now.
I mean, of course, right now, but I mean, motherfuckers back in 1994 was probably saying we can't watch this shit, and then 5 years later, Stone Cold came. We
To
was
be honest with
we
you, a
was
lot of
beating up the
people in
NFL.
1994 wasn't necessarily thinking like that. Well, them New York people, ECW started coming out. You always had your little undergrounds and shit, but yeah,
That's
I
when they
mean,
started going extreme and started going that hardcore wrestling. After Paul Heyman was watching FMW and Wing Over in Japan, he saw the style of wrestling they were doing, and he was able to bring that and adapt it into America through ECW.
Mike, I know that you said that you didn't watch Dynamite, but this was one of the one Dynamite, the first Dynamite, from 2 weeks ago. But I watched that Swerve promo, and that shit was fucking awful. But let me ask you this: do you believe? Excuse me. Do you believe that Swerve Strickland is is the standard for what a black American have to be in professional wrestling today to obtain success, the greatest success?
Unfortunately, looking at everything, unfortunately, yeah.
So you got to be a coon. Um,
Sad reality is, yeah. It's not even so much that.
you got to
Yeah,
act
you
like you
having
having
jobs,
success
you
when
have to
you
do a
not.
bunch of jobs. Like, there's no. It always bugged me when Swerve should have beaten Orange Cassidy. But you mean it? But Swerve's like, nah, I wanted a job to Orange Cassidy. I'm like, the fuck?
He said that.
Yep. Why did he
Why they? But
say
see, that's the
outright
shit that
say,
I'm.
yeah,
And see,
that's the thing. It's like, wait a minute. Like, I don't want the international championship. It's like, oh, come on, bro.
oh yeah, all right,
Fuck that.
okay, I remember that. Yeah,
He's like, I don't want the international championship. It's like,
but see, that's
wouldn't
the
you want to
thing, man.
have the international championship, build it up, and really make it a standard? Like,
And
come
see, on
on.
top of that, now what you gonna do? Now,
Well,
but
this is
see
what I
that, but
loved
see
about
that,
Jay
like what?
Lethal and
But
Ring of Honor.
unfortunately, that's what Moxley is doing, right?
Yeah, that's what Moxley's doing with the Continental Championship.
Which is
See,
ridiculous that he even got that shit. Because like I said, you just had the heavyweight championship. That shows you how much Swerve is playing himself. You know what I'm saying? But is he?
yeah,
Because they really not gonna give you this shit. Like I said, the more and more I think about it, Swerve Strickland is not having success and have not had success since he lost the world championship. But you know what? Swerve Strickland really didn't have much success before he won the championship. What the
facts.
fuck? What tangibles have been provided to Swerve Strickland besides his low-balled contract? And not when I say low-balled, he not getting $5 or $10 million a year like Okada and Will Ospreay. He getting a million. 1 million.
That's just shameful.
Shit, he should have won the international title of Orange Cassidy, but he declined, which is stupid. He should have just went with it, and then he
But
could
you
have done
sure he
the
declined it?
international
Are you
title
now that
what
I'm thinking
Jay
about it? Are
Lethal
you sure
did
he declined
with
it,
the Ring of Honor.
or are you sure that he declined it, or it seemed like they never offered it to him, and he just saying some shit to make him? Because I remember Swerve was trying to put himself to the world title, toward the world title. It's world title or it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's world title or it's nothing. Let him tell it. He didn't want to be tag team champions and none of that shit. Well, it's nothing because you're going on your third year without that championship. You're not even close. I doubt that they even offered him that shit. He just said that shit just to advance his standings at the time because this was before he won the world title.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case.
That's what it
But yeah,
was.
yeah, most likely. But yeah, Tony Khan could have had Swerve elevate the international title the way Jay Lethal elevated the Ring of Honor World Television title back in like late 2014, 2015. He had which that was the greatest World Television Championship run of all time because he had that TV title. He made it to the point where it became where you thought it was just as prestigious as the world title. As they segued into that whole feud between him and Jay Briscoe in Best in the World, and he beat him and became a double champ. Like, there's a blueprint right
The
there.
the
Tony
double
Khan had a
championship
fucking
is
blueprint right there.
the double championship is killing me because AEW have so many championships,
Yeah,
but they are giving these championships. They making these people have double championships and triple. Okada had 3 belts at one point. Like, uh, why? Don't you at least if you're gonna have all that shit? Why don't you spread it out? I think Willow Nightingale just recently had 2 championships.
yeah. She had the
Kyle
women's
Fletcher.
world tag title and the TBS championship,
And the
but they
crazy
lost
part
the
is,
tag title to Divine Dominion.
owner, you don't watch AEW, but guess how many American Negroes out of all of, well, let's say 15 championships they got. Guess how many American Negroes is currently holding AEW championships right now?
Uh, Zero.
Nope.
One.
Well, Kevin Knight with the trio champion.
With the tree, he got two
Yeah,
whites
he's
as
the
his
only
tag
one.
team partner.
I mean,
And got
I
two
ain't gonna. That's why I
whites as
said
his
zero. I
tag
ain't
team
even gonna
partner.
count that shit
Yeah.
because that's a big. Before we get into SmackDown, what I want to say about our truth and thing, peace. Look, being stuck in a tag team is almost worse than if you had never even showed up. I mean, a hodgepodge tag team like that, where there's really no direction. I mean, that's you might as well release the
So
guy.
what you mean is like being stuck in a tag team. Let's try to find some examples right quick. Like not like FTR or like Edge and Christian or the other white tag teams, but
Yeah.
you mean like being stuck in a tag team like Private Party, right?
I mean, but we talk. Those
No,
are
no,
all
no.
real
Work with it.
tag
Hold on,
teams
hold on,
with.
hold on, hold on. Walk with me real quick. Just walk with me real quick. You mean like Private Party, right?
Well, no, I don't exactly mean like
No,
private
no,
party.
no. You mean like the Street Profits, right?
No, not like Street Profits.
You mean like Myron Reed and Wesley?
Well, no, the distinction
Because
I
they've
make
been missing
between
from Dynamite
those,
too.
the distinction I make between those guys and what Kevin Knight's situation is, those are real tag teams
Owner, I
with
need you
tag
to
team
walk with me
chemistry.
real quick. I need you to walk with me real quick. You say that you don't. I'm kind of trying to note this stuff real quick. We got to kind of slow down real quick because how many white tag teams are stuck in purgatories? Like at the end of the day, you got Negroes in tag teams like the New Day, but it's you find it funny that it's specifically these Negroes that are stagnant, right?
Well, I mean, to put it in all perspective, the whole tag team wrestling in general is in a stalemate.
But who got it the worst? Who's suffering the worst?
Of course, Negroes are getting the ass in, but
Because the Wyatts, you know, been on TV every week that they held the tag team titles before, during, and after. And it seems like they all are going to have a match at WrestleMania, including Eric Rowan.
that motherfucker can barely walk.
So, like I said, it seemed like Negroes is coming off worse. You do remember who the New Day won the tag team championships from last year, right?
Viking experience.
White
War.
supremacy, if I ever seen it. These motherfuckers just walk on to the show. Just walk on. Come on in. Come get this bonus check. Which, by the way, I put up a funny ass video about the about I put up a funny ass video about the Street Profits. If y'all are not familiar, go to Nine Crackers at Al and see it. Or I'm gonna post it here on YouTube. But it's funny as hell. I do want to talk about the Street Profits in a second. But my bad, Honor. Go ahead.
But no, I don't really count the Kevin Knight title because I don't. I think one, I think they just do Kevin Knight and that team as a former Panther. They put
Well,
Kevin
I
Knight
just
with
the
one guy.
reason I just wanted to note the one is because one, it could be as equal to none. One could be as equal to none. We often talk about it. I talked about it the last time. How unsatisfied I am, even with Trick Williams coming out there cutting his promos every week with his lemon pepper steppers. How that's not enough for me. How Lash Legend won the tag team championship with her Australian. I'm sorry, is she Italian or Australian? Italian Samoan tag team partner. That's still not enough for me. Even with Javon Evans having all his random ass matches, that's not enough for me. And even with Obafemi being called a boy, wrestling Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, that's not enough for me. One is equal as none. So yes, the 37 championships that AEW have, only one American Negro is holding one. I'm serious. When are people gonna start looking at Tony Khan as the racist that he is? What is it gonna take? Are
I have
y'all
no
that?
clue.
Is Swerve Strickland that big? Is Swerve Strickland that great? To where you could just sit up here and say that racism don't exist at all in Tony Khan? That's why I'm asking the Swerve Strickland the standard to what it takes to succeed in professional wrestling today. But then you come to find that Swerve Strickland don't have no fucking success. Mike, what
Yep.
type of success did Swerve Strickland have before he won the AEW championship? We noted that he could have or could have not rejected the Continental title and stuff like that. But what other type of success? Tell me about Swerve Strickland and AEW.
The only championship he held prior to the world title was the tag titles with Keith Lee when they were swerving our glory.
Swerving in glory. Where in the fuck is Keith Lee?
That is what I'm trying to figure out.
He better figure it out because his wife about to get fired. And I can't
Wouldn't
wait with
surprise.
that fucking Jackie Chan looking bitch. Bitch look like Jet Li. Uh, speaking of, oh
I
my
don't see
god,
it.
really cannot. I really cannot wait for this woman to go. I can't wait. Um, I just wanted to note that real quick about Swerve Strickland. I just kind of trying to see what ceiling an American Negro have to be to be successful in this business, and it's crazy to think like that. Mm, mm, it's sad. American Negroes got to get out they fandom. Mike, can
Ownership.
I get the American Negro up there? By the way, that episode 2 weeks ago, Kevin Knight did not wrestle on that program, right?
He did not wrestle on that program 2 weeks ago. There was not a single foundational Black American that wrestled on the post Revolution Dynamite
So much hype
on
for him.
March 18th.
Mike Bailey did wrestle though, right?
He did have a match with I believe it was where he wrestled. No. That was the go home show, I think.
Yeah, he had a standout match with Kyle
Kyle
Fletcher.
Fletcher. I think
Yeah,
that was the
I
go home show.
that was the go home show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that match by mistake. And it was really good.
Yep.
But I just want to note that I know you don't have the result in front of you on that, but maybe Mike Bailey did wrestle. I know that he wrestled on the last edition. But with that
He
being
did
noted,
wrestle on this Dynamite.
yeah, I know that for sure. With that being noted, can I get an American Negro update on this week edition? How did they bounce back from having a Negro list dynamite?
Swerve Strickland was the only foundational Black American wrestler to wrestle. And he wrestled Kenny Omega for the number one contendership for the AEW World Championship.
What?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. What an honor. All right, we
They
got some
ran it
stuff
back,
to
but they
we got
opened the show with that one,
we got some
which
stuff to
made
unpack right here, Mike. And this is where we start talking about AEW real quick because it's some stuff that's not making sense to me when it come down to AEW. So I just kind of need you to walk with me this time. Um, okay. So Swerve Strickland, first of all, the terrible promo from 2 weeks ago was about the fact that Kenny Omega, and mind you, Mike, I want you to remember, if you remember, I couldn't find it. I wanted to find it and clip it out and stuff, but um, you remember me and you specifically said that Kenny Omega is going to take Swerve Strickland further away from the AEW championship, right?
yeah,
Now we didn't mean it literal in the literal sense of in
yeah,
storyline. He's going to. We didn't mean it like that, right?
no, like he was going to beat him the next time they faced in the ring.
Anyway, right?
Yeah,
But see, here's the key. I'm glad that you said it, and I'm glad that you said it the way that you did. When the
and that's
fuck
what
did
happened.
Swerve Strickland become the number one contender for the AEW championship and how?
He didn't become yet, but the match beating Brody King, who had just lost, was coming off a loss to MJF at Grand Slam Australia for the world title, kind of put him in contention. And Kenny Omega had been racking up wins, and one of the wins that he had racked up was against Swerve. So they ran it back for the number one contendership on this week's Dynamite, and Swerve had Kenny put his EVP status on the line.
Oh shit, my bad. Excuse me, Mike. I'm not just for the record. As if I got to explain shit to anybody out there that got sensitive ears. But for the record, I'm not laughing at you, Mike. I'm just laughing at how ridiculous that this stuff is coming together from Tony Khan.
But the number one contendership match, that one wasn't too ridiculous, but the whole Swerve, like Kenny Omega putting his EVP status on the line thing is like,
Well,
wait,
that's
what?
what. No, Mike, you
That
said that
one,
in
I
reverse
can
because
understand
it was
that one.
ridiculous because it just didn't. They didn't say that Swerve Strickland was officially the number one contender after the pay per view, did they? It's just like
Nope.
Kenny Omega just came out and said, "Hey, you're the number one contender. I want that." That's what's ridiculous to me. It's something missing. It's like it's like people talk about slavery and then they talk about today, completely missing everything in between. Me as the viewer is missing how Swerve. It sound good what you're saying, but me as the viewer, I missed that. How the hell did he become number one contender? And like I said, Kenny Omega announced that he was number one contender, which was news to me and you.
Wait, he never announced that.
I said Kenny Omega announced it.
He did?
Yes, Kenny Omega said you're the number. Swerve Strickland is the number one contender. I'm challenging you for the match. That's how the match came about.
Yeah.
So Swerve Strickland came out later on and said, "I'll be a fool." Or I think he did it like this. He was sitting in the chair. He was like, "I'll be a fool to give you something and you not give me nothing." And he wanted his power. But see, Mike, what didn't make sense to me on that end is if you want power in AEW, why didn't you challenge the Young Bucks for their EVP position?
They put their EVP status on the line against Osprey and Swerve.
They did, but they didn't give it for. But it wasn't for Swerve and
Like,
Osprey to
yeah,
be the EVPs.
yeah, they could have claimed that. That's which is why I say it was ridiculous for Swerve to have kids like, wait a minute, why didn't you just claim that shit when you and Osprey
Exactly.
wrestled the Younger Bucks? That's
He
what
didn't
I
even
was.
bring it up.
That's my issue with it.
He
It's
didn't
like,
even
wait
bring
a
it up.
minute. Yeah,
That's why I
that's the
say it's
issue
so
I
much
had.
inconsistency in that little circle right there. And Tony Khan is an idiot, but he's a racist, but he's an idiot too because it's like you got a lot of missing holes. What if people didn't see? What if people just started watching AEW just like 2 weeks ago?
That's a good question.
They not
Why
gonna
didn't you?
understand. They not gonna understand nothing, and then it's just like AEW don't give you nothing to follow. They expect you to know this indie history of shit, indie history of FTR. They expect you to know that. They expect you to know the whole history of Edge and Christian. You know what I mean? People just
Well,
started
Edge and
watching
Christian are
wrestling
well known,
5 and 10 years ago, huh?
yeah, Edge and Christian are well known, so
No, but I'm saying, think about the people that just started watching 5 or 10 years ago. They don't know Edge and Christian. They don't know the impact of Edge and Christian.
And that's a big chunk of the AEW fan base, ain't it?
That's the crazy part. A lot of people don't know the impact. I watch a lot of legends get disrespected. All right, I watch a lot of legends get disrespected. Because matter of fact, I was just on the space last week. To where these guys was talking about the greatest tag team of all time, and they was naming the Usos and the New Day, and they talking about the amount of championships they had, and I'm like, well, they wasn't necessarily making it to where the Rock and Roll Express could lose the tag team titles every month or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And get it back. And I'm like, y'all got certain elements y'all got to take out and just start actually looking at before nobody look at performance no more. But you'll be surprised how many people cannot sit down and look. People always had a hard time watching wrestling from the '70s and before. Now people having a hard time actually watching wrestling from the '90s and the 2000s. That's crazy. These newer wrestling fans. Can y'all believe that shit?
I can appreciate all eras, to be honest.
A lot of these newer people can't.
Because I remember when I watched a tag match in the 70s. It was in New Japan. It was Giant Baba and Antonio Inoki against Luthez and I think Carl Gotch.
God damn.
And the way
And
they were
they
doing
was the
tag
young
team
boys
wrestling
then,
was
huh?
like, it was kind of foreign to me, where they didn't do, they weren't like double teaming moves. They would just tag their partner in. It was
You
like,
know,
wow, seeing how tag matches were back then, it's like, wow, that's different.
but you
And
know,
then around late 70s, early 80s, that's when you got like more tag wrestling that I'm more familiar with. It's like,
like, have
okay,
you know that? Did
appreciate the
you
evolution of.
everything that you've seen, and like I said, it seemed like you didn't see much, but it seemed like you seen everything. Do did you notice the reactions that they was getting from the people with every little thing that they did?
Like in Japan, like they weren't
Oh
like
well, you were talking about
they
Japan.
were
I'm
pretty
my bad.
loud.
I forgot you talking about Japan, but I'm
Yeah,
talking
it was
about
in Japan.
go watch some of Bruno matches back in the day. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but Japan also was pretty loud too.
Okay, so they would get greater reactions off of certain things that people wouldn't get reactions for today, right? Like even a
They
simple
still give,
punch.
yeah, they
Wrestling is
still give
supposed wrestling
reactions.
is supposed to be simple. Wrestling has got so overcomplicated over the years. It has gotten so complicated over the years. It is just it's so complicated, so it's unbearable to watch because nothing makes sense. Nobody make anything make sense anymore. And I'm talking about inside the ring. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people utilize they in ring time wisely. Mike, you watch AEW. Can you name certain people that you utilize every second wisely and not go over the top, not doing too much? They do little and it works so much.
MJF,
MJF is one. Yes.
I'd say Kenny Omega's pretty good at it. He can do that
That's
Mhm.
when necessary.
debatable.
We disagree on
Brian
that one.
Danielson,
Brian Danielson is one. Yes, he's the
he's
last
another.
of MJF is the last of the Mohegan, and before then there was Brian Danielson. CM Punk, right?
Yep, CM Punk,
CM Punk slow people down.
FTR.
I don't watch those little fuckers. You know, I'm sitting up here looking
Yeah,
at two joints.
FTR. Like they're old school. Like the way they wrestle is like no. They're old school. Like FTR, you throw them in there.
I know we had this discussion before, but the only you could be correct. It's just
Yep. Nope.
if it
They
wasn't for their
definitely are.
size, if
Because
these
they're
wasn't
in
the
that same
smallest
camp
people
with
I ever
Punk.
seen in my life, then
And
I
what happened to the Outrunners? Where they go?
do the fuck happened. What happened to the acclaimed?
The Acclaim.
They squalls all the gay out of Anthony Bowens and like, okay, so that's enough. We got all
Last
the
I heard
exposure.
of Anthony Bones was that he was potentially looking to join the Ops.
Oh, God. What's the ops doing right now?
I don't know what the hell they're doing. Because last time, like,
Tony
I think
Khan is a
Hook was trying to
fucking.
recruit some people while Samoa Joe was out.
Where is Shelton Benjamin? I ask this question every week.
That's what I want to know.
All right. It's funny because Negroes. It's funny because Negroes. Owner, do you notice this? Like I said, we got over 600 editions. All of this stuff is documented. Why is it that Negroes specifically tend to go missing, completely missing in AEW specifically?
Did Tony Khan ever had any real, plans for Shelton outside of the hurt business? So
No, he didn't. And it's crazy because he had the opportunity. When Bobby Lashley first got hurt a couple of months ago, Shelton Benjamin was trending for a good 2 days in the wrestling sphere. They was showing they had these compilation videos of Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin should have been world champion. This is the reason why he should have been world champion. The gold standard. Blah 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 blah. White folks showing fake love. White folk not advocating and asking Tony Khan why isn't Shelton Benjamin on TV right now. So that's where they fakeness come in at. But Tony Khan had the opportunity to change that and change the whole narrative with Shelton Benjamin, even so much as going at the Okada title, the Continental title, and shit. And Tony Khan choose not to use him. It's like It's like Shelton Benjamin have to rely on this Hispanic man for the rest of his career, and that's unfortunate. With the work that I seen Shelton Benjamin put in last year, he was amazing. And it's like the only way you could work is if you got this Hispanic man by your side. It's- that don't make sense. And I don't see them doing nothing with them when they get back. What the fuck you gonna do? You gonna keep them in the tag team? How much longer is these motherfuckers gonna be in there? They capable to do this for another 10 years. But how long do you believe that Tony Khan is gonna keep them? And how long do you believe they can keep up with this first as a tag team?
I'm not sure how long they could keep it. Maybe a year at best.
And you say they could pull another "we hurt people" for another year, and then it's just gonna fade the fuck out, right?
That's
That's
that's what I'm thinking.
That's unfortunate. But like I said, a lot of people got to start looking at Tony Khan. We got to start. People have to start calling Tony Khan. Start questioning Tony Khan. Well, I mean, and these are legitimate questions. Athena is still one of the best female wrestlers in professional wrestling today. Why isn't she wrestling on AEW television? And I don't want to hear about her success when um what's his name? What the fuck is the Ring of Honor champion name? The little Mexi. Penta
Bandito?
Bandito.
Bandito?
When Bandito wrestled on the pay-per-view and had a standout match, right?
Yep, he
Yeah,
had a banger with Andrade.
I would say that match was only as good as it was because of Andrade.
Andrade is something special.
He might be the best male wrestler on the planet right now.
I mean, I haven't sat down and watched some in AEW. I did, catch some when I was saying that things didn't pop out with me while we was watching that pay-per-view. I had to think about it. I was kind of locked in on that Bandito what you call it match. But Andrade, he is one of the best. Andrade is one of the best Mexican American wrestlers I've ever seen. And he don't hold him up. He put out standouts every week, every time that he wrestle. But I do want to see
Yep.
more Bandito because Bandito do got a lot of hype. But at the end of the day, I don't think that he should be on AEW television if he's holding the Ring of Honor championship. It's crazy that these guys, Mark Briscoe, still come up here. You know, y'all could sit up here and tell me about Lee Moriarty. Y'all could tell me about Athena. We still talk about victories with no victories. It's a victory that you could talk about, but it's a victory that I can't see. You know what I'm saying? What about the little black girls that don't even know that Ring of Honor exists? And every time they see Athena, they get excited, but then they see her on AEW television, which they do have access to and do know exist, and they see her as a loser.
Sad. Just sad.
Um, they see her as a loser. Um, we about to get ready to get off of AEW real quick. Mike, just one quick thing. I know that you haven't watched it due to the lack of Negroes on the program. But since Revolution 2 weeks ago, AEW have been getting bad reviews based off of their dynamites and stuff. They've been getting bad reviews. Um, but on the flip side of them getting bad reviews, they have been getting higher ratings. Last week they got like 600 or something thousand. This week, right before the show, I just found out they got over 780 something thousand. Do you think that Tony Khan need to switch it up right now? And is he in a position to switch it up right now? Um, or are they just about to take this big fall? The playoffs is coming up, so these ratings is about to go down. What do you think Tony Khan gonna do? Because this is the best time for them to gain an audience beyond the playoffs. Is he set up? The question that I'm asking is he set up properly to gain a new audience?
I don't think he's set up properly because I don't think he hasn't really fully had a long term vision. He seems to just wing
Well,
it.
how do you think they've been doing with Darby Allin since he came back?
Darby, they've been okay.
But really nothing, right? As a matter of fact, you getting the same shit every week, right?
Yeah, he's been feuding with the Death Riders for like a whole and a damn near 2 years.
That shit is over with now, right?
He's finally moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's finally over.
But when I say he doing that, he getting hit by cars every week and having fucking casket matches and shit every week and all this other different shit. You know, but this is all you could pretty much expect out of him from here on out. But it just seemed, the consistency of it is just a turnoff. It really is to me.
Yeah,
You know.
they're getting away from. He's moving away from the War Dogs, and now he's looking to go after MJF. So if I had to
A
guess,
lot of people is looking to go toward MJF. Damn, I think I bookmarked it too. A lot of people, I think Kenny Omega is the number one contender. Darby Allin is
yep,
going after him. Brody King want him. It's a couple other white guys, all white. Not a single American Negro is going after him. Then they literally put up a graphic of all the whites that's going after him. Not a single American Negro, not even Swerve Strickland. Just had to note that Swerve Strickland, we're gonna
he
keep an eye
was, but
on
he
this.
lost to Kenny. So
I told the world when Swerve Strickland lost that championship that an American Negro would never receive the AEW championship again. We are nearly on 3 years since that declaration. Real quick, one more thing before we get off of AEW. As a matter of fact, it may have already happened. If you could check on it, Collision is tonight, right, Mike?
Collision. Let me see Collision. Collision Saturday night.
Okay. Well, tomorrow night, Kevin Knight is slated to face Shinsuke uh, Okada.
Let me see. Preview March 28th.
Yeah, he's supposed to face Okada for the Continental Classic championship. If he lose, when he lose,
Yep, Kevin Knight versus Okada.
do you believe that that's setting Kevin Knight back if he lose to Okada? Like, they got Kevin Knight losing. He lost the six-man tag team titles. And on the same night, he lost the world title match. He may lose to Shinsuke Okada tomorrow. Uh, White folks say that because he's young, this is okay. And it's the same excuses they're going to give for Javon Evans and all this other stuff. But, Mike, do you really believe that these losses is progressing him? Mind you, his performances stand out. But do you believe that these losses is progressing him for real? Because they putting him in with these people.
Hasn't really progressed because they haven't really built him up. Like he can have the standout performances, but if you're not putting in the work to really build him up, what then his performances are for nothing.
It seems like it's been for nothing over the last couple of weeks. Owner, don't you think?
Exactly.
Opinion. I mean, I already voiced my opinion. I think him being in that tag team is holding him back. Uh,
In the six
everything they
man tag
everything
on
they've
top, they
done, it
added
seems like they
another
got something
layer.
out. Like everything they've done with Kevin Knight so far, it seems like somebody has it out for him back there. Like they they don't like Kevin Knight at AEW. I don't know what it is.
Well, that's just like that with Carmelo Hayes too, right?
I mean, even he we'll get into it, but he won last Friday, but I guess that's just for him to lose at WrestleMania.
I don't think he wrestling at WrestleMania
So they're not gonna do that.
He's
because
either going to
that
lose
was
the
their match for
title
WrestleMania.
before
I thought,
WrestleMania or after.
huh?
He's either going to drop that title before or after
He probably
WrestleMania.
gonna drop it after WrestleMania, but he not. I don't think he wrestling at WrestleMania.
Nah, I'd be shocked if he did.
Yeah. Unless they have Roy Skis come out there and he do an open challenge and Roy Skis come out there. Because apparently they dropped Royce Keys. They wanted Royce Keys to wrestle, or they said I don't know how to. I don't because it was never confirmed that Royce Keys was going to team with anyway. But it seems like this is going to be celebrity filled WrestleMania. I'm the only one that remember the trailer that they put out with Tom Brady, ISO Speed, and Jelly Roll, and a couple other celebrities. You're gonna see a couple other celebrities come in. I
Wait,
remember
Tom
that
Brady?
trailer. Yeah, all these people
Huh.
gonna be. Oh, is that your interest to watch WrestleMania, Mike?
No,
Huh. All right, let's get ready to move on really quickly. Owner, can I get an American Negro update on Monday Night Raw? This ought to be interesting.
owner.
Owner of a stolen gun, are you there?
Did you get abducted?
Hey, you gotta run that by me one time.
I need the update on Raw.
Oh, Rob.
Oh man, the Olsen twins look horrible.
Wait, what?
The Olsen twins, little white bitches that used to play on that one little show. Owner, can I get an American Negro update on Monday Night Raw?
Well,
If not,
there weren't any American Negroes on Monday Night Raw. We're talking about March 23rd,
yep,
2026. Oh,
yep.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so before we get to that, okay, real quick, that's have becoming a trend. Excuse me, that's becoming a trend. Now the first Raw was Brock Lesnar. Now Obafemi is a Nigerian, but the first one we already went over that earlier today when we talked about the reason that Brock Lesnar is the
Javon
reason
is
that
West Indian, half West Indian.
I'm sorry.
Javon is half West Indian. You gotta know that.
Oh, he's half Jamaican.
West Indies, Jamaica. I thought that was like an umbrella
Oh,
term.
okay, my bad. All right, my bad. Um, just wanted to get a little specific real quick. I, I ain't heard nobody call nobody a West Indian in a minute. I didn't know.
Like since West Indian Archer.
Um, the he's half at least, because we still checking on his mother. But I just wanted to note that Raw is one of the worst shows, and they have been long before they got on Netflix. And we've been noting that's because of the lack of American Negroes. The New Day did whatever they could in their efforts to, be entertaining whenever they segments came on. But the WWE still won't do nothing with them to progress them inside the ring. They just want to keep them, doing whatever little skits they can to say that they got Negroes on the program. So WWE choose to add Javon Evans to Raw. And Mike, is that enough for you? Especially with him being at least half Jamaican?
Doesn't really swing me any way direction. So doesn't really do anything for me.
It seems as if Javon Evans have been, booked worse than Kevin Knight. Now, let me explain what I mean. Javon Evans been winning. I don't think Javon Evans lost a match since he got the Raw, have he?
Not that I know of.
But the motherfucker haven't been facing nobody.
With Kevin Knight, you can say he's wrestled some pretty big names in the industry. I haven't
MJ,
really
yeah.
seen Javon go one on one with anybody important. Nobody that matters has gotten in the ring with Javon
It
yet.
seemed like they wanted to put not wanted, but it seemed like they planned to put um Trick Williams on, the main roster. But it just seemed like they didn't have no clear direction for Obafemi or Javon Evans. Remember, like I said, the only reason that Obafemi is in the position that he is right now is so that Gunther don't eat that loss. Other than that, they didn't have no plans for Obafemi. None. They still haven't decided whether he's going to be on Raw or SmackDown right now, which obviously they need him on Raw. Raw need American Negroes. They need American Negro men and they need American Negro women because they have absolutely none. I just don't see how anybody can't see that the lack of Negroes is the reason Raw have been ass. SmackDown has gotten so much better overall as a brand since Trick Williams came out there and did his thing, and Lash Legend came out there and did her thing, even in losing efforts.
Yeah.
People forget how much Lash Legend was losing
Yeah.
before she got that title, right?
Yeah, she was losing.
And Raw is really trash. I mean, because Honor, if you look at the results, have anything else or anybody else stood out?
I mean, I'm sick of Roman Reigns and CM Punk battle
That
rap.
shit was oh god. I'm no. You know what? I'm sick of the Usos.
Them motherfuckers. I mean, Jimmy Uso. I mean, Jimmy or Jake. I mean, neither of them are very good wrestlers, for starters.
Not at all. But they even worse at promos.
What do? I mean, the bloodline shit was good, but that was fucking damn. He just got to
That
end
shit was
sometime.
good to you. That shit was good to you. The bloodline to me was a bunch of fucking promos.
Yeah, nothing
That's
but
what that
talking.
shit was. It was a bunch of motherfucking promos. That shit is I'm good. I'm good. And I just want to know how are people like the Usos gonna make they exit? Because it's gotta happen. You know what I'm saying? I thought that they was going to use the Usos to revitalize the tag team division. You know what I'm saying? And they not even trying. They not starting. Uh, if the Vision win the tag team championship, what the fuck is the Usos gonna get a rematch at WrestleMania or something? I don't. I can't see another year of the Usos.
Me neither.
I mean, they're just there. I mean, they don't move the show forward. They don't progress anything. They're just there.
And they act like what white folk will call black people niggers for. I'm still waiting on white folk to label Jimmy and Jay Uso niggers, because they actually going out there and they look ridiculous.
I mean,
The way that they acting, they look absolutely Jacob Fatu.
Jacob
All these
Fatu can go out there,
motherfuckers look
throw up gang
ridiculous.
sign.
Especially that fucking septum piercing you got.
Man, they look ridiculous, and it's just shameful. That they are the future of this business. White folk don't believe me when I tell you that, the Trick Williams wouldn't be in the
Usos are
WWE
40.
3 or 4 years from now. You know,
I mean, do you think that a black wrestler could work for WWE profession to be a member of a criminal organization having that criminal record Jacob Fatu has?
huh?
Not
Not
a
at all.
chance in hell.
Not at all. Well, wait a minute. Now, have this mother? Is it any proof that he been in prison?
He was a convicted felon.
Is that on? Have you seen the record?
I mean,
Because I did try to look for it and it's not there. If anybody could point it to me, put a link up in the
I mean,
comment
Jacob
section.
Fatu is 30 something. He said this shit was supposed to be almost 15 years ago when he was 19. He went to prison.
And you got and 7 kids that came out. No,
7 kids.
I
The
don't even
motherfucker
think this
probably started having
motherfucker got
kids when he
7 kids.
was.
It's something about Jacob Fatu's story that just don't sit right with me. Something in the chitlins don't smell right, and I need people to prove this. I need people to
See,
prove that Jacob Fatu have been to prison. If anybody can find Jacob Fatu prison record for me, please send it to me. And not just his prison record. Prove these 7 kids. Prove he got these 7 kids with this woman. One woman, right?
at the age of 18, he was arrested for robbery.
I want I want to see mugshots. I want to see some paperwork.
If he
Oh,
did or did, I mean,
I'm,
he coming on TV saying, "No, I'm big blood. I've been in jail. Uh, all this." A black motherfucker would have got run out of town with that
our
shit.
truth wouldn't have been able to make it. Booker T wouldn't have been able to make it. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been able to make it.
I mean, New Jack just
No, they
called
wouldn't.
himself a gangster, and
And
they was gonna have
I'm
nothing to do with
glad that they didn't use that to boost their profile. But why is it that's more acceptable for a person? Why do white folk accept that from Jacob Fatu? Why
Oof.
don't why don't it's not even white criminals. Like I said, I look at these comments. Anytime I look at a fight, anytime I look at an altercation, anytime I look at any interaction, any interaction, it could be anything, good, positive or negative. White folk comments change video to video when it's a white doing wrong. And they could go so much as fuck a child. White folk covering for that white. As a matter of fact, they try to make it a competition. Well, black people and per capita and all of this other different shit do anything but condemn the white who did whatever action. But they do the same thing with Hispanics. They tend to enjoy Hispanic fights. Y'all notice that they give props. Oh, the white guy, he, this, that, and the other. But then when it comes down to black people, no matter what black people do,
Oh, look, those white guys don't have to jump unless they lynch you. Then they
right,
leave about 20,
right.
30 people.
Yeah.
Nobody got to. They don't have to stump. They don't have to kick. They don't have to do none of this other different shit. But when it come down to white folk, and then they always go with mental illness and all of this other different shit. But they give all of these other ethnic groups passes as well. You know what I'm saying? Right? So hypocrites, but their issue 100% truly is American Negroes. It's not even Africans or Caribbeans or nothing. White folk genuinely hate American Negroes.
From day one.
I mean, but if you had a motherfucker, if you did a motherfucker so dirty and he was just sitting there every day reminding you of how much of a piece of shit you are, then yeah, I hate that nigga too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they more so looking in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? They more so looking in the mirror.
And
Uh,
Negroes are holding up that mirror, and they don't like it.
no, social media is holding up that mirror. Like I said, the world get to see how trifling white folk truly is now. You know what I'm saying? White folk and Jew skin whites, if they want to say that, control the media. What all you get to see from black people, black Americans or whatnot. Well, and that all this nastiness from the whites who wasn't getting exposed in the '90s and shit. White folk overlook, they brush over the nastiness and shit that they see from Jerry Springer. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen the ID channel?
The ID channel? I don't think I have.
With all the cop body cam shit.
No. This is white murders. They be fucking white.
No.
No, this is the most gruesome fucking murders and the serial killers. gruesome murders in American history. They reenacting these stories of white. Just watch the ID channel. It's one channel called the ID channel. Watch the ID channel for 5 hours. You'll never and I already know how y'all, especially where you at, Mike. I'm a owner. I already know how y'all view white folk, but this shit right here is gonna give you a whole another perspective. These fuckers are nasty.
Mm.
I don't mean that type of nasty, but they do fuck animals too. But we not gonna go there right now.
Bestiality.
They the creators of the shit, and they the
I
one
mean,
that
I don't put nothing past a white person.
you can't per capita fucking animals. You say what happened?
I mean, you can't put nothing past a white person at all.
These motherfuckers be digging up their ass and just in public and just even in private that shit nasty. Then they be they drink washing machine water for fun and shit. Look at jackass culture. You know what I'm saying? Negroes don't do that shit. Um, real quick, I'm trying to think, owner. What you think? Or should I go ahead on and flip this coin that I got in my hand? Should we continue talking about the present, or should we move on to the future? Because I think we did talk. We don't need to talk about SmackDown. We just talked about Carmelo Hayes. We recognize that he may not even be wrestling at WrestleMania and shit. Trick Williams. Okay, let's talk about Trick Williams for a second. Obviously, you're gonna face Sammy. People talking about a double turn as if Trick Williams is heel anyway. You know what I'm saying? Who born him? But I do have to note that Trick Williams' responses is up there. Like it really is. He really, 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 really getting over. Mike, why don't they have no merchandise for Trick Williams right now?
They don't want him to outshine guys like Cody Rhodes.
$10,000 bus ride, right?
Right. That's
Yeah.
correct.
He got all these slogans. He got a hell of a lot of slogans, and none of them is printed on a T-shirt. He has not gotten a single piece of merchandise. And mind you, heading into WrestleMania season, you know what I'm saying? He may have a match at WrestleMania against Sami Zayn, but he can't pull no extra coins beyond the little bonus that he getting, right?
Right.
As I stated, the WWE racism is affecting American Negroes economically. This is a factor that people choose not to look at because we get the same entrance and same catchphrases every single week. But let's say that they do this double turn with Sammy because I like what Sami Zayn is on right now. I like the run that he on right now. It makes sense. I don't want to see it lead to the WWE title. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. I mean, it's not going to lead to it because fucking either Randy Orton got to hold it for a while or Cody Rhodes got to hold it for a while. Oh God,
Uh-oh.
my bad. I'm thinking about WrestleMania next year. That shit gonna be awful. Can y'all picture this? Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship and the services of Paul Heyman.
Like,
Shit,
imagine if goddamn Rock and Stone Cold was still main event WrestleMania in 2007, 2008.
it wouldn't have happened. You would never ever get that same response. You would never get that same response. Um, where was that? I lost myself right quick. Ah, fuck. Okay, so we don't have to talk about SmackDown. We done covered the Negroes from there. Um, Lash, they just, and Lash is looking good. You know what I'm saying? She got the tag team titles, but like I said, we not gonna forget that she was losing a hell of a lot before she got that. Right now, they don't know what the hell is the Bella Twin? What the fuck is that? How did these bitches even get tag team title match? A tag team title match?
That's what I'd like to know.
And they probably gonna get it at WrestleMania and all this other different shit. That shit crazy. It baffles me how the WWE still use the Bellas. Cause who's asking for these bitches? That's crazy.
Who was clamoring for AJ Lee to come back?
Well, not just that, man, but and it's documented because we watched Elimination Chamber live. But we was bored. That was the only match that entire program that we said was boring as it was going on. And it's the rematch. They having a rematch at WrestleMania. Why? Do y'all like Becky Lynch? That fucking promo was so uncalled for that they had on Raw. You know what I'm saying? And they think getting personal. You mentioned my daughter. You mentioned my daughter. I'm like, and I was looking at AJ Lee, and she just looked so old. She looked crusty. Her forehead just keep popping out. Bitch look like she got her head look like one of them Oompa Loompas.
And the whole that shit don't even make no sense. Ain't Becky Lynch's daughter like 3 years old? Does she even know what her parents are doing when they not at home?
I don't know. I don't know. They terrible parents. I know that. Terrible parents.
Oh, that kid gonna be all kind of fucked up. I mean, look at where dad is.
Well, it's time to move on to the future because this is where I need you to get ready to get those together. It's time to get ready to move on to the future because, you know, white folk, handkerchief head, pecker town niggers, and tethers have been saying, okay, nigger, WWE got Trick Williams, they got Lash Legend, they got Javon Evans, they got Obafemi. You have absolutely nothing to cry about now. Owner, can I get an American Negro update on NXT? I'm sorry. Y'all got to excuse me for a little bit. This could take a little time while I'm pretty sure he's getting what he need to get, you know, that should have been ready and prepared. Wow, right there. Uh but Mike, while he getting that together, is I don't think I asked you this. Are you looking forward to Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill?
You know what? Actually, yeah. After that last SmackDown, when Meechin and B-Fab came out, that did that did kind of reignite that shit, give some extra intrigue. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes now.
That is what gave you extra intrigue.
I mean, Jade Cargill coming out with these henchmen. She's the queen bee. That's a perfect character for her.
Well, they just need you could clearly see that they just need somebody Rhea Ripley to beat up on somebody and not beat up on Jade, right? To WrestleMania.
I mean, you know,
I'm
that's
fine with
absolutely
seeing
fine.
Mitchell get beat up on. Beat the fuck out of her. Beat her while it's legal and they don't get no anti-hate crime bill put on them. Beat the fuck out of her. I don't give a shit. But just, make sure she gone after that. Just fire her. I'm cool with I thought that BFAB should be with her. You know what I'm saying? Not even so much as to take whoopings, but to give them on the low key. But Mitchell is just I'm sorry, I just cannot get behind Mitchell. She have to find herself. I shouldn't have to find Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? She have to find herself, and she just haven't. So I just it's throwing me off. She was annoying as fuck. Even coming in with the cane every single week, that shit was annoying as fuck. She was annoying. Just want to take her like a little flea and fling her ass on across the motherfucking highway. And no, I'm not anti Asian either. I love Ching Ching. Y'all don't even know Ching Ching. Ching. But no, I'm not anti Asian, and Ching Ching could tell you that.
I mean, Beeching is really just genuinely not that interesting of a character, of a wrestler. He doesn't really have a lot going on.
If you sit down and watch her Twitch, you can see this bitch ain't worth a goddamn. You know, but I just can't wait for her release. You think she gonna get released the same day that Triple H get fired?
I don't think she's gonna last that long.
Oh man, I hate
Well,
that you
well,
say it
I
like
mean,
that
even
because
then, Triple H really don't have that long, so the clock is
okay, I
ticking
was gonna
on
say
both
you
of them.
got to correct yourself because I think that by SummerSlam, I mean honestly, there is no way that they could keep this shit up. It's no way that they could keep this shit up. You know what I'm saying? It's no way that they could keep this shit up on this road, and they got to figure it out. They got to be able to figure this out past Cody Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? They about 5 or 6 years too late for Randy Orton to be, a serious contender for a championship. Then he may get it. You know what I'm saying? And I just, even if he get it, I don't. I look at the list of contenders and it's not there. I don't want to see him wrestle nobody. Same thing with Cody Rhodes. I don't want to see him wrestle nobody. I don't. I'm fine if they were to never wrestle again. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think the Triple H is gonna know how to move out of this. Last year, we documented the road to WrestleMania very well, and it's in the package in the playlist. WrestleMania, which is the most blatant WrestleMania in the history of WrestleMania, and all WrestleManias were racist. That is available in the playlist on YouTube right now, and y'all can see what we had leading up to WrestleMania, how intrigued we were not. Somehow, this year seems even worse. Mike, why does it seem like that to you? Mike, you there? Honor, why does it seem like this year is worse to you?
I mean, it's been a progressive, downhill spiral since shit the last 10 years. At least 2017 was a real turning point for me.
I say long before that, but a lot of people do say around that range. So
But
um,
I mean, the shit. Uh, what makes it worse than last year? I can't really pinpoint it, but I mean, it's the same old shit. I mean,
So let's say this. Let's say this, and I'm not saying this to say that Triple H need to be saved. He has to go, because oh god, that's gonna lead me to my next question. I hope you got NXT ready because I'm gonna ask you that. But before I get to NXT, I'm going to ask that Triple H question. Um, Triple H do have to go, but even if they were to get, let's say, the Rock team from Seven Bucks Production, right? Um, or just a slew of writers. Is there anybody that could ever save pro wrestling?
I mean, first we got to get rid of writers. I think writers are ruining wrestling.
So you taking out the entertainment aspect, you taking out the characterization.
Well, I think they did a pretty good job of having characters and presentation before writers. You know,
You talking about taking it back 50 years now?
maybe not as many writers. You know, they could definitely gut the writers' room, but I would a
I
single
think
person that could save wrestling.
how about if they have writers that wasn't involved in pro wrestling, like it was. Um, Hell, Brian Gewirtz was not involved in pro wrestling before 2000 and shit. Vince McMahon started using those Hollywood writers literally between 2000 and 2010.
I mean, I know we trying to make a presentation for a television audience, so of course we need that input when you're making a wrestling television show. That is a necessity. But I think it's uh, well, what the fuck are they actually writing? Because
Well,
if
okay,
you watch the show,
okay.
you don't really
Let's
see
slow
any
down real
content.
quick. Let's slow down real quick because this is we kind of touched on this multiple times on the last edition. You know, I'm really trying to figure this out. When you look at the talent, and like I said, not just in the WWE, but even TNA and AEW and stuff, how much of a factor do you believe that the talent that's being presented, old and new, have something to do with the product being trash?
I think it has a lot to do with it. A lot of these motherfuckers have no business in the ring, uh, no business in the industry. You know, they're a bunch of nerds who've never been in a fight, and they're taking all the prestige out of the
So nothing
industry.
is believable, right?
You can't. I mean,
Nobody's suspending your disbelief, right?
not if I'm like looking at this shit and every know 4 out of the 5 guys, I'm looking at them like I'm sizing them up. Like if I've seen this motherfucker and I really want to do something to him, there's not much that motherfucker can do to stop me. If I'm looking at him like that, then yeah,
See, that's the thing. The business just off is so up so much that now regular people get to finally be represented on TV. And James Ellsworth get to be represented on TV. It drives people like Pecker Tom Ron. Pecker Tom Ron is so moral and upstanding. He just wants to fight for everything right. And that's the basis of a babyface professional wrestler. But look at him. He don't have no arms. You know, he he don't look like a regular person. He look like a special person. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
he
I
looked like
just
he was
found out that
born
Percatine Ron
born a
dressed
little early.
up as a Spider Man and went to go attack people.
I mean, he was born a little undercooked. You know, he came out a little earlier than he should.
A little. This nigga came out. He came out. He came out 8 months before he was due. That's the most what the fuck they call them babies?
You're
I
right because
just
they
had
got
my
a name.
last child, so I'm good. I could talk shit. Huh?
They do got a name for it. I'm trying to think of. But yeah,
Uh
Ron is a very
uh
delicate case.
not a what the fuck is the premature? One of them preemie babies. That's the most premature baby ever. He was born 8 months before the due date.
His mom
He
wasn't
was
even. His
born.
mama wasn't
He
even
was
born. That
born before his
motherfucker.
mama found out she was pregnant.
He just slid out regular.
She like, what the fuck is this? She ain't even feel it. She just heard a big ass thump. She was like, what the fuck is that? And he been getting on her nerves ever goddamn since. But you got this special, you got this special retarded looking motherfucker that believes that he could do the next Ronald. And I know you listening, Ronald. What you think you could? What do you think that you could bring to professional wrestling?
Shit. Uh, Comedy punchline.
Not even that. We done seen enough of that shit. So he literally don't have nothing to offer this business, do we?
These motherfuckers could probably clip tickets at the door. Do that.
Yeah, he do that for the little football stadium and shit. Which way is section 37B? So you still gotta pull out the map and ask somebody. Ask
Nigga,
somebody.
Ty, still looking at the map.
The customer gonna be like, man, look, I got it, man. I
And,
found my
and
damn
still sent
thing.
your ass to the wrong section.
Oh man, and but the point is though, it's not to rag on the little bitch. The point is that anybody nowadays, these are the type of people that are becoming professional wrestlers now.
You just said anybody. It feels like they just let anybody in nowadays.
No, brother, no, that's exactly what it is. It's not what they did. That's exactly what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Look how many gays in wrestling right now. That's exactly what they're doing.
Like that shit would have been like they would have run you out the locker room with that shit. Then there's no
Yeah.
more there's no more policing in the locker room. You know, it's too friendly. Wrestling is too friendly.
When you traveling up and down the road and you constantly together, nobody could get into a fight at a bar, none of that shit no more. You just can't do shit. And I get it. Like I said, wrestling is AEW and WWE, they're very corporate now. To the point where, they don't give a fuck about lawsuits or none of that shit. Why is they so pussyfied? Wrestling started getting pussyfied. I knew it was pussyfied when they fired Bill DeMott.
I think it really fucking took a turn with Chris Benoit.
It did. It did. No, it did. It really did. And they needed that. They
They had to clean it up because it was all this accusations. They're feeding the guys drugs and it's driving them crazy and shit.
people I'm surprised a lot of people do not talk about this. They were going to put, Vince McMahon in front of the congressional board. You know what I'm saying? After that Chris Benoit shit, based on the steroids, what Chris Benoit death really did was it really, the WWF already got hit with that steroid shit. But after things cooled down, things got relaxed again. And what the Chris Benoit thing did, because they found so much, Chris Benoit was selling steroids. He wasn't even using it. It wasn't in his autopsy. You know what I'm saying? He was selling them. But what that did was it opened look how many people got suspended based off of that shit. That's when they started implementing the wellness program to where they publicly telling you, like, nigga, you you failed the drug test, you suspended, you fired, you going to rehab, you this, that, the other. You know what I'm saying? And it was over the WWE. WWE couldn't control that shit at that point. You know what I'm saying? They just had that Chris Benoit thing was really, really, really bad for them. On top of Eddie Guerrero, because remember, Eddie Guerrero had them little drugs in this system too. Eddie Guerrero was on steroids. He was big as hell before he died. Um, okay, are we ready for NXT?
Right. NXT results. March 24th. Uh, wow.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's like that.
yeah.
I just like that. I want, like I said, I'm gonna need American Negro wrestling fans to get out of their fandom because, like I said, y'all, I understand. Let me say something to wrestling fans, and I'm talking about wrestling fans of any ethnicity, hardcore wrestling fans, hardcore. This is your life. All you could do is watch wrestling. You may watch a little anime here or a comic book there, but just the wrestling fans. First of all, it's okay to wash up. Go wash your ass. Second, And then no, it's literally okay to do that. The once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day. It's okay, just at minimum, at least once a day. All right. But I understand that pro wrestling is all that you people have. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. If Chris Benoit murdered Daniel and what's her name? What's that lady name?
Nancy.
Nancy. If he murdered Daniel and Nancy, you sure? Her name
Yep.
was like Christine or something.
No. Nancy Benoit.
Oh,
Woman.
it do sound familiar, Nancy Benoit. Now that you say her last name.
Well, Nancy Sullivan. Uh,
Ah,
yeah,
it
that,
was because her. Yep. 'Cause she was. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Nancy Sullivan. Nancy Benoit. And Chris Benoit had not killed himself, and he lived. And the jury found him not guilty, even though white folks say, "Hey, OJ killed, the other white bitch." I thought her name was Nancy, Nancy Simpson,
Nicole.
uh, Nicole. You sure it wasn't Nancy?
All these white bitches. No, his wife was named Nicole. OJ's
that's
wife was named
that's
Nicole.
what make it so unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, because Nicole's they be spelling they shit with a H, like Nicole. But anyway, if he had killed her and got away with it, and you always view him as guilty, but the WWE say, "Hey, he not guilty. We gonna keep letting him wrestle on TV." Y'all gonna continue to support that shit?
I mean, are we gonna support them bringing Ted DiBiase back possibly? After he found not
Talk
guilty of
about a system of white supremacy via anti-blackness.
something he almost absolutely did, but he was found not guilty in court.
And it's crazy because his brother pleaded guilty. You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
and, and he was convicted and got like a half a day probation or some shit, right?
Slap on the wrist. He
It was a
they
slap
were
on the
giving
hand. They said, I don't think they touched his wrist, but they did touch his hands. They said, no, you don't do that. You're bad. Bad, bad boy.
they were trying to give Ted a plea. It would have been what, uh, 20. He might have did 5. But he was facing like 180 years or something going to trial.
And they like, no, we can't let that shit happen. Like, boy, you could have took this 1 year, but they like, no. And they like, well, we can't just let him rot in jail for 120 years. It's crazy. And it's crazy because we know that he guilty. And the public know that he guilty. And due to the fact that the jury of his peers found him not guilty, white folk is gonna take that and let him roam around freely as an American.
Free as a damn dove.
Sean Combs um is in prison right now. He was convicted of being a pimp, right?
Amongst other things.
No, literally, that's all he was convicted. What was he officially convicted of?
I think they brought in the Man Act. He was transporting people across state lines for sex work.
So
Some
he
shit.
was pimping, right?
Right. Yes.
Anything else?
No, I think that was it. Just
That was
human
it.
traffic.
Yeah, we got to keep it simple. That was it. Pimping. Two people, a man and a woman, right? So that's all he got convicted for. And he's in prison and he's doing his time. He not bitching about it and none of that shit, right? He'll think he appealing, but that's within his rights too. Will America allow Sean Combs to come home and operate his businesses freely as an American without no interference? Even though he done his time, paid his debt to society, pretty sure he's going to pay all of his fines. Will they allow this man to live freely as an American?
I mean, uh, they are gonna never let that man. He'll never truly be free of this. No, no way.
I watched Ted DiBiase Jr. celebrate that day. You would have thought that was Jacob Fatu, the way he was celebrating, popping bottles and all that shit. Owner, not saying that it affected you personally, but it could have, right?
I mean, I don't take no benefits. I don't even think I qualify, but
But it could have, right?
very, very much likely. If I had gone to apply and the money wouldn't be there, yeah, I'd be fucked up.
Well, imagine how many people are fucked up.
Oh, yeah, bro. We ain't got to get into that right now.
Well, we are going to eventually. You know what I'm saying? Because it did touch people. What Ted DiBiase and his white cronies did touch people. You got to know that if they were Negroes, they'll be facing the death penalty somehow, some way. Right now,
I mean, they trying to catch up to Mayor Jackson on some kind of corruption, and they just trying to pin shit on him. All them motherfuckers.
white folk pinpoint Negroes. White folk will pinpoint a little Negro girl for stealing from the store or something because she hungry. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. But
Like you said,
white folks
DiBiase,
still, and they still so big, and it hurts. And white folks still, it affects hundreds of lives or even thousands of people lives. You know what I'm saying?
and it's not like this motherfucker was doing this to survive. I mean, he just
He
just
just
pure
did
greed.
it.
Just
He wasn't, but obviously it wouldn't matter what the circumstances was. But at the same time, you are correct. He did it just to do it.
pure greed. Like you just want to have a palace, just because.
And Mississippi allowed him to get away with that. The jury. I mean, we talking about now. See, owner, I want you to understand what I'm saying. It's not just that it affected you. Look at the jury members that allowed him to do this shit in that state. They allow that type of criminal shit. You know how many white folk been stealing from them? One of the poorest states in the country, right? Let them tell it.
Oh, Mississippi. This is what I. Mississippi is not poor. The money is just mismanaged, and we're looking at the mismanagement
Is it mismanaged or is
stolen, mismanaged. One and the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the capital. It's one of the most decrepit cities in America. You know, the highest murder rate, by the way, in a red state. No less.
Used to be Shreveport at one point. Shreveport, Louisiana. Oh no, 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 never mind. One thing, one thing.
That's
That's Louisiana,
another
right?
thing. These racists always want to talk about Chicago, these Democrat run cities, but the highest murder rate is in what, Birmingham, Mobile.
Yeah,
It's in
actually,
Alabama.
I was actually, I'm sorry, I got knocked down for a second, but I was actually surprised to hear that. But yeah, the highest rates, one of the highest rates is up there. But they do look at these bigger cities. But they
Yeah,
don't
Mobile.
look at on top of them looking at the bigger cities. There's so many people that get away with things. It's so many people that get away with so many things in these smaller cities. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously. Um,
I don't think it's that they're getting away with it. It's just, they don't want to highlight it because, the whole reason for, pinpointing a city like Detroit or Chicago is because those are, blue states and blue cities. But, you come down here, we got the highest murder rate. This is a red state. And, you go outside. Jackson might be blue, but you go right outside Jackson, it's surrounded by red.
yeah, but first of all, what is blue and what is red? Because I don't think that nobody have any standards anymore on anything. And it's just a bunch of white folk blaming one or the other, and nobody is legitimately trying to fix anything. Is there anybody on the red or blue that's trying to place things into its proper place? Do you believe that Donald Trump is trying to make America great again?
Donald Trump is trying to liquidate America. He's gutting the infrastructure. He's gutting the workforce. He's about to foreclose on this, bro.
But obviously, he not working for himself. Who put him in place to do this and why? I mean, because think about it. What reason would he have at the age of 80 to do some shit like that? And where would his family benefit?
It
You know what
wouldn't
I'm saying?
benefit.
It's got to be somebody over him because why did Donald Trump become this man to do that? Or once again, is he just the face?
No, he's definitely got a handler. A lot of people, will point to our ally in the Middle East, our greatest ally.
Shit, I need a few seconds. Owner, try to run down NXT real quick. We're about to get ready to cut it, but I just need a minute. Just run down NXT.
Well, we're looking at the March 24th edition. There were no American Negroes. I mean, we got Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker. Uh, uh, they're nominally black, but I would call them American Negroes. But no, this was a
My bad. Who you
pretty.
talking about?
This
Who
Jada Parker and Kalani Jordan, which are they're always heavily featured on the show, but they are, of course, white women.
mixed with white? Yeah, no, they white women. No, they white women for sure. My bad. I got caught up on something, but they white women for sure. But I'm just as far as non-mix because I want to see something real quick. Ever since Trick Williams and Javon Evans came up to the main roster, it's been a major decline in the production of people in NXT. I mean, Joe Hendry is just trash, or just Ethan Page stuff and Ricky Stark stuff. Is that stuff working for you right now?
Not at all. I mean, Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry reminds me of. He kind of looks like
Oh God,
a Timu Steve Carino.
yeah, but the work rate just not there. Steve Carino was a damn good wrestler.
Yeah,
I,
Steve was
I,
better than Joe
I got
Hendry.
a lot of respect for Steve Carino.
I didn't see honored man. Listen, me and you. I don't know how much longer you gonna make it on this program. I'm trying to figure out your relationship with white folk. You
Hey,
respect
I
Steve
mean, I
Carino?
watched Steve Carino. I went back and watched the old ECW. I was into the King of Old School Steve Carino.
I was in the Triple H matches, and I wouldn't give a fuck if he lived or died. I don't respect it. You got to respect for these people, though. That's the weird part.
I've been a Steve Carino fan for about 10 years.
If Bob Barker taught you anything, never trust a white man.
I ain't
God.
saying I'm gonna invite the motherfucker over my house. I'm just saying, I seen his work.
I'm
I've
fucking
got a lot
with
of
you.
respect for Chris Benoit and his work, even though he's a murdering degenerate. But you know,
And he was a fucking racist. Oh, I cannot wait, y'all. I can't wait. We're gonna do our third annual Chris Benoit tribute this year, and this year is going to be so beautiful. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. And actually, I can't wait because we doing Owen Hurt one too. But this is our last year doing Owen Hurt. I'm tired of talking about this motherfucker. Seriously, like every year, shit. But his birthday is on the same day. I'm sorry, his death date is on the same day of Bray Wyatt birthday. I'm sorry. It's on the same day of Bray Wyatt birthday. So we get to kill two birds with one stone.
man, where JoJo been?
I don't know, cause ever since she sung that Shaka Khan song, this bitch ain't been seen. I'm glad I don't. She fucked up with me doing that.
I'll still knock that down.
I mean, look,
Now,
I can't
who?
edit, so no, I just let me just go ahead.
Wait, you still knock who down?
Are we live?
Yeah, JoJo, Bray Wyatt baby mama, the little
I can see
Dominican
it.
lady, huh? She gained a whole bunch of weight
Yeah,
though,
all
but
right.
she knocked some of them chins down and shit. But I know she must have really loved this motherfucker because she really did gain some weight after he died.
I mean, Kellis, Nas's ex-wife, she smashed Bill Murray, so
Oh God, why did you tell me that? That was on the we about to get ready to end the show and everything. You just fucked up my whole damn mood. Um, but actually, it's
yeah, my
about
phone
to.
died, so
That's all
I was
good. You
kind of in
just
and
didn't have
out.
to.
So
Yeah, we're about to get ready to head out real quick. It's just I actually do got to get ready to go. It's time for me to get ready to turn it in.
yeah, I
Just
gotta
real
get ready
quick,
to bed myself.
Mike. We gonna be back in 2 weeks. Never mind. I'll message you. I'll message you. But we are getting ready to go ahead on the cut. It's just one more thing I need to get out on NXT real quick. Um, so we see the decline in the lack of Negroes. Now they have been utilizing Keanu Carver, right?
Shannon Carver?
Jasper Troy. Yes, I'm talking about NXT.
Hmm.
They've been utilizing Keanu Carver and Jasper Troy ever since the other guys came up. They got Eli Knight, and they've been using him every other week, right? Eli Knight is pretty good. He's really good actually, and Eli Knight is like Kevin Knight. Mike, you familiar with Eli Knight?
I'm not familiar with him.
I mean, Eli Knight, he's really good at the high flying athletic stuff. You know,
He's another Negro that it seemed like you can't stereotype, right?
I mean, he's generally just a guy who fell in love with wrestling. I mean, he's not a hood booger, any of that.
Hood booger.
He's not a thug.
Yeah, he don't do that hippity bip bip bop shit that you guys like to do.
He probably likes to listen to a little French Montana young boy every now and then, but he's not out there he's not out there on the block with the switch.
Like that nigger Trick Williams, right?
Don't get me
Oh my
started on him
god,
and all his
white
all
folks
his
so funny. White folk is
he
fucking
Yeah,
hilarious,
all
dog. The stereotypes of these people just don't even know. I swear. Um,
yeah,
they just don't. It's funny. They funny as hell. They really funny
yeah.
people. I tell you. Mike, not Mike. Owner, Keanu Curver. They have been stereotyping the fuck out of him, right?
like, why. you said this last week, but why is he so mad? How
What
would you
is he so
like?
fucking
How
angry
would you
about?
survive in any sort of corporate job setting with that kind of attitude?
No. The question is, what are you so? Why are you so upset about? And then I want to know. This is my thing right here. First of all, when it comes down to these stereotypes, I never blame the wrestler. It's always the writer. Who is? I sit here and I listen to some of these people talk. Who is writing this shit? Who's directing Keanu Carver to say what he say? And the way that he say it. Who's doing this? Owner, do me a favor. Go to Wikipedia. It's on Wikipedia. Pull up the NXT writers for me, please. Real quick. Let me try to do this real quick. I want to know who writing this shit. It's not Shawn Michaels that's writing all of this shit. The NXT creative team is led by Shawn Michaels and Triple H, focusing on developing talent and storylines. The head writer include Johnny Russo of White, Joe Belcastro. What is that? An Italian name? Andrea Consticepi. What the fuck type names is these? This is a fucking. Hold on a minute. Let me see what the fuck going on. We're about to figure this out real quick. I want to know who writing this shit for these people. Andrea Concepcion or some shit. She Hispanic or some shit. Who the fuck is this bitch? She look like Melina and AJ Lee and Willow Nightingale. Just fucking weird.
And are they
And
still using that Lil Wayne 2 Chainz song for the theme in NXT?
I don't know. I
But like
haven't.
for the past 5 years, they've been using like rappers. Like I think 3 years ago, it was like Wale and Maxo Cream had a song.
Oh, you look at the celebrities that they choose to grab. They can use us for any influence other than inside that ring. Joe Balesco, he's a fucking Italian. I could tell by that goddamn nose. So they got a Hispanic woman and an Italian woman. I'm sorry, and then an Italian man. One more person. Let me see who I just seen. Johnny Russo. They don't get no whiter than that. Let me see what this motherfucker is. He look Italian. And who the hell oh no, that may not be him. No, that's
See,
the
another
dude from The
name I see is
Godfather. I'm like, what the hell?
Brandon Carroll, uh, Kobe Applegate.
He a bald headed white man that look like not Dana White. What's that guy for Deal or No Deal?
Howie Mandel.
Gabe Sapolsky is down there. He's
Hmm.
writing. He's a consultant for NXT and Evolve.
So it's safe to say that the people that's low key directing these people to talk like that, it appears that all signs point to Triple H and and Shawn Michaels. This is the only way that they see Negroes. I knew it was something I was missing on this conversation, y'all.
But
We got to talk about it right quick because he's actually it's impressing me. Normally, I wouldn't like some shit like that, but it's impressing me. How do y'all feel about Leah Rush?
Leo Rush. I've seen the new gimmick he has.
well, is it new or is it just the Dark Heart from 5 years ago?
Is that what he
No,
did
it's
5 years
not
ago?
dark.
Because
No,
everybody acting
Dark
like
Heart
that
was
shit new.
not this. He wasn't doing that corny Gollum impression.
So you don't I take it you don't.
Hold the fuck up. Hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Purvis Young, welcome to Wrestling with Racism. Carmelo Hayes just lost the United States Championship to Sami Zayn.
I mean that's bullshit.
Let me see.
Hold the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. The act of pandering could be worse than the act of racism itself. You know, Carmelo Hayes not gonna be with. I bet you they're gonna release him within the next year. I bet you they're gonna release him within the next year. It's crazy. WWE truly do not respect Carmelo Hayes. You know, Carmelo Hayes been United States champion since December of last year. They literally gave it to him at the ass end of last year on the tape program, right? And then he lose today. White folk is gonna brag and say he had banger after banger after banger every single week, but he didn't wrestle on a single WWE PLE. I need white folk. This is why I do not listen to white folk, but I need Negroes to come out of their fandom. You know, I don't even care about this WrestleMania. But if it looked like Trick Williams is gonna face Sami Zayn, do y'all really think he's gonna beat Sami Zayn for the United States Championship?
I mean, he has to. They can't beat him like that.
Owner,
It
owner,
doesn't make
owner,
sense.
owner, owner. You know, I ask questions to get to the ultimate truth. I know it makes sense. Is Trick Williams gonna beat Sami Zayn for the United States title?
More than likely, no.
But they got Trick Williams coming out talking shit just to get his ass beat week after week. The big matches, you know, the WWE title matches, the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber. He can make it. He just can't reach it. I don't have nothing to say. I really don't have nothing to say on
Sami
that.
Zayn did win.
Carmelo Hayes is under investigation right now. Anyway, you know, I really don't have nothing to say. This is you know, like I said, I like the Sammy. It's just this. I don't have nothing to say on the racial end. On the booking end, it don't make sense.
Carmelo Hayes was a babyface when he was. So him losing to Sammy, you're like, what the hell?
Sammy is a heel, so I'm pretty sure he crashed
Oh,
out or something. I don't know how he got it. I
no,
don't even.
Sammy's not a heel.
Oh, Mike, you ain't been watching. This
Did he?
motherfucker be
Did he
tripping.
turn heel?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if it's, I don't even know. I don't even give a shit.
did he?
WWE is ass. WWE is ass. And Triple H need to go. These seriously need to go. Um, because oh, I got a headache now. Do you believe though, with Sami Zayn winning the championship? It's crazy because it's crazy that this will finally give the United States Championship a story. Because the no champion have been in a feud. It's been an open championship since Sami Zayn about a year ago, right? Is this going to open the door to elevate the championship to be in a feud rotation?
I mean, that's what somebody with sense would do. But the WWE creative team has shown that they have no sense.
They don't have no sense. It's, they don't have no sense. I'm done. I really do have to go. That really threw me off real quick. Because I really wasn't expecting that to happen right now, and I just don't see nothing spectacular coming out of this. And owner, as I stated earlier today, I said it's shaping up for. Carmelo Hayes to not have a match at WrestleMania.
It's shaping up for Carmelo to not have a job with the WWE.
Well, that's what it is. But it's just I don't know. I do got to get ready to go. I can't with that. Not right now. We will be back in 2 weeks. We will be back in 2 weeks with the new edition. In 2 weeks is our final edition on the road to WrestleMania before WrestleMania. I'm not excited. I don't give a shit. Purvis, if you there, real quick, because I didn't watch SmackDown, or if anybody know, did they move Trick Williams closer to having the match at WrestleMania with anybody? Or did he interact with Sami Zayn or anything? On if anybody could just check up real quick on that. I personally don't give a shit. I need to get ready to go. Next edition will be our final edition before WrestleMania. And on WrestleMania week, we will not go live during WrestleMania, but on WrestleMania week, we will premiere 5 new editions Monday through Friday. WrestleMania week, the week after WrestleMania. So we want, and then after that, we're going to go on our mid-season hiatus. We want to thank each and every single American Negro for tuning into this edition. But what I want everyone to take out of this edition is we have to start looking at Tony Khan for the true racist that he is, because there is no American Negroes under Kevin Knight. I want y'all to really let that settle in when you look at what type of success Kevin Knight is actually having or not having. With that being said, American Negroes, take care of yourself as an individual and protect one another as family. As our ancestor, Frankie Beverly, stated plainly, we are one. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.